Welcome back to another episode of the Ducks on Base podcast. The season in review series continues on with a member of our rotation who started the year in the rotation for the first 8 weeks and then eventually moved into more of a long relief bullpen role for the rest of the year. We're talking about Will Sanford today. Fox, you want to start us off?
So Will Sanford was a highly rated prospect coming out of Point Loma High School um, in the 2024 class and was a part of the starting rotation, as Kenny said at the beginning of the season. Um, he had his first game was against Toledo, where he pitched 4 innings, uh, gave up only 1 run, struck out 6, and walked 3. Um, he had a slightly worse um, appearance against Rhode Island, but came back strong against Columbia and had a decent appearance against USC. Um, and then his last really good appearance was against Rutgers, where he went 6 innings, giving up only 1 run and striking out 5. And then after that, he kind of had sporadic appearances, largely where he had maybe like an inning or two, and largely had some struggles along the way. But as a first year player, um, coming out of high school against college opponents, I think he did overall pretty decently. Um, is largely going to be seeing what he does in the future, and I would definitely say that if he has another good year, he could be very good for Oregon moving forward.
Yeah. As I just found out, he's only the 11th true freshman to ever start in the weekend rotation in Oregon baseball history, um, which says a lot about his potential, as he develops as a pitcher in the collegiate level. He definitely showed some promise early in the year. Obviously, his outing against Toledo was a pretty good start. I think the one thing that I think Fox and I can both agree on is his walks were very very high, which ended up leading, especially in the later half of the year, where that just led to either blow up innings or just very stressful pitches. He had a stretch at the end of the year where I think he gave up like 5 walks in seven, like 5 of 7 last outings or something. It was not pretty. Um, but I think if he can hold in on his command um, at the collegiate level, I think he can be a very key part of Oregon's starting rotation this year.
Yeah, with um, the only other returning starter is there's only one other returning starter on the team, and uh, and that being Colin Clark, and that being Colin Clark. Um, I think there's a definite shot of him being another productive pitcher moving on in the season.
Yeah, I think. Do you want to talk about a little of his summer ball stats so far?
Yeah, so he played California in the California Collegiate League um, for let's see the second the I guess in the South Division's team, uh, the San Diego Bombers. Um, they he performed. He had 5 games started throughout it. Pitched 14 innings. Struck out 25 and walked 12. So he's somewhat improved his walks per nine and improved his strikeouts per nine. Um, he struggled a little bit, but overall, I think there's definitely an idea that he could definitely improve. There's no real um, there's no like advanced stats that we could tell, like his expected FIP or his expected ERA, that would better understand what was going on. Um, since we're not there and not able to watch all the games and have a better determination, but overall, it's it's better that we're seeing that he's increased his strikeout numbers and is starting to decrease his walk numbers, which is definitely a better sign for the future.
Yeah, comparing his stats from Oregon season to the San Diego Bombers summer league stats, he has a 42-39 strikeout to walk ratio at Oregon this season. So far, uh, with the San Diego Bombers, he has a 25-12 strikeout to walk ratio. I think a lot of what like summer ball at the collegiate level is just development and like working on different things that you may not have necessarily the time or the not what the program wants you to do per se, because you're in season. There's a certain regimen that you're going with along with as a team. um so I think a lot of what he's probably doing is tinkering with either like pitches or arm slot or like just being able to like work on different things against still collegiate ball, like collegiate level talent. um is I think based on stats alone is a good sign, about decent, if not a good sign of potential improvement going into 2026.
Yeah, I would definitely say he's definitely going to compete for a rotation
Hmm.
spot next year,
Hmm.
and it's likely that he'll probably at least start in the rotation. Um, they're bringing in um, one transfer pitcher that we'll talk about later in our series, and it'll be Colin Clark as likely either the Friday or the Saturday guy. So it's likely going to be fighting for one more weekend rotation spot and then the weekday spot as well.
Yeah. Will definitely has potential, and he has the opportunity to go out in the fall, and earn his rotation spot early, at least for the early half of the year. Um, Definitely has the stuff. I think his repertoire is a pretty good repertoire as as a top freshman out of California. Um, Main part is just his command. Is he able to limit the walks, limit the blow up innings? Um, but I'm excited to see uh, his potential going into 2026. With that being, do you have any final thoughts?
Nope.
All right. With that being said, this concludes the Will Sanford episode of our season in review series. Make sure to like and subscribe both on YouTube and Spotify, depending on your preferred listening platform. Follow us on Instagram. Excuse me. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content uh, throughout the off season. And with that being said, we'll see you guys back for the next episode.